Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Walkers. Well, morning walker, I guess, is more an accurate description. It is currently 8:16. This is honestly just crazy. Why do I wake up this early? Honestly, I'm not even tired. If you're a morning person like me, this might be the podcast for you. Except it's not really a podcast, it's a branch from the podcast. Dog's barking at me. I don't like it. Sorry if I sound like a little sick, because I kind of am. But I'm going on a walk anyway, because I like walking. Man, it's been so long since I walked. Well, not so long. I've walked like 3 days ago. Like, had a video ready for you guys that introduces this series, but I didn't post it because it was honestly terrible and was only 5 minutes long. There's no no. Pretty much I have an idea of where I'm gonna walk, and I'm not gonna walk in the school campus, not gonna walk what I usually walk, which is tears. No, I might walk random places. I'm not walking on the main road though, so I probably won't walk random places. So I'll probably do what I usually do when it comes to these walks, and that's usually oh gosh, and that's usually just like walk around my neighborhood and talk to myself randomly, and that's pretty much what this branch podcast is really about, actually. So, like, I guess we can get started if that's the intro. I'm your host. I'm Adam, I guess, but I'm sure you guys already knew that. Okay, let's start off. So, I was thinking of, like, my story and how I was going to get the power system, like, really, how I was going to get the power system. Oh my gosh, I can't think of words. I really just can't think of words. I guess enjoy the ambiance, but yeah. No, I was thinking of my story. I was thinking of the power system, my magic system, because I'm a huge story writer. I like to write stories even though I can't read. I can't read, I suck at reading. It takes forever. But I like writing stories, I like writing magic, and I like writing magic systems. And my magic system is pretty much mana, so practical magic. Then I put my own little twist on it, and I have what I have, and then you have what you have, and it's pretty unique. I don't think it's really that unique. Pretty much there's magic. There's Deus Ex Machina, the magic called will magic, and then there's natural magic, and it's an entire thing, and I'm not going to describe it, because even if I did describe it without context, you wouldn't understand it. But yeah, no, I've just been thinking about it, and I was just realizing, man, it's hard for me to explain my own type of magic, my own magic system. So, number one problem as a story writer, if it's hard for you to describe your own magic, it's probably not that great of a magic system. So, hopefully in the second book I can, like, more get into the whole magic system thing. Like Sasha, the character. So I have a character in my book called Sasha, and she's big on magic. She's a huge magic person, and she's pretty much the magic character, and she'll be able to learn all these magics because she's pretty much a magic master, sort of say, but she's not the strongest, which is sad. I should make her the strongest. Why not? But yeah, no. in the first book, I was just establishing the characters. I probably need to establish them more and their personalities more. But in the first book, I was just establishing characters, and in the second book, I want to establish the other characters a little bit more. I want to establish Sasha, the character, more, because the most we know about her is like, what, she's afraid of heights as a fairy. I mean, come on. But yeah, no, I'm gonna get to know the character. In the second book, you're gonna get to know Sasha more, and in the third book, which I plan on calling Colosseum, I plan on fleshing out another character in the series. But yeah, no, I'm having a lot of fun writing books. Like, if you ever want to write a book, here's one thing. Here's my advice. If you're trying to write a book, it really does help to, like, watch TV shows. Like, it's surprising how much watching TV shows and watching movies helps you with your story writing. Because in the end, it's all the same. And in the end, books are just very descriptive. You have to be able to describe things very easily, have that imagery, try to project that imagery. And that's really it. That's really all that it is to writing. Of course, you have to have a good, interesting story. You have to have a good hook to the story. But in the end, that's you can do that if you're. In the end, that I think people overlook how descriptive books tend to be, and that's how we get certain books that we have. And perspective, like, what is your story going to be about? You have to have an end. You kind of have to have an end goal in mind. Like, you definitely have to have an end goal in mind. You have to have a good shallow layout of what your story is going to be. What your story is going to be about, and what's the end goal. What the end goal is, and you kind of have to establish that in the first. You kind of have to establish that in the first story. And not too far in the story, because in the end, that first chapter, those first few chapters are going to be your introductory chapters, and you're gonna be describing certain things, and you're going to be setting everything up in those first few chapters. So my character is called Seth. In the first chapter, we get his background, the way of his country that makes him not particularly like his country, his reason for leaving his country, and his reason for escaping his country, and we get a good knowledge of the magic system. And so we have the basics. So practically we have the basics for a normal story, which is great, really. The rest of the story should be about developing the rest of the first book should be about developing your first character. Or if you're like me and you're going to do multiple books dedicating to each character, then you should spend that first book developing your characters, developing their synergy with each other, because you can't have a main group of people and not have an idea of how they're going to connect well, what their personalities are. You can't establish that later, because it makes no sense why they even get along as a group. They would just be bored and they wouldn't talk to each other. And you can't say that they're good friends if they have nothing in common. Which is exactly why in my situation, they're kind of forced together. In my book, the three characters, Sasha, Seth, and the third guy, don't worry about him. they're really connected. They have to go on this trip together, though they're good. They were already good friends before then, and they already have synergy. And currently, I'm fleshing out the story because I already made the story in the end, and then I'm just like, there's certain things I want to do better in this, so I'm gonna go over it, and then I'm gonna describe the story better, and hopefully, and really, I'm gonna flesh out characters and make it good story writing in the end. So a car is coming. Oh. I just saw a good friend of our family. That was kind of funny. Yeah, no, flesh out your characters. That's a good idea. That's really a good idea. And man, I'm almost done with my journey. Huh. What would you know? I might just go around on the second trip because I still have more to talk about. So a podcast. Scary dogs. So our podcast, we're not going to do an episode today. We are going to do an episode on Thursday, with a huge amount of people. Like, we are going to do an episode tomorrow with a lot of our friends from News Crew, a lot of mine, Skylar's, and Holland's friends from News Crew, and it's just going to be this huge episode with a lot of people. If Skylar doesn't have tornado warnings on that day, which I hope not, because then we would have to reschedule, and we are packed for pretty much the rest of the summer, and it sucks. Plus there's like vacation, and we don't want to take away vacation from each other like that. And so yeah, we're still gonna likely do our podcasts regularly on Wednesdays, just earlier on the day, and earlier on Wednesdays. And if some of us are on vacation, that's fine. We'll just leave him out. Skylar's going to be on a vacation next week, so I don't know. I'll have to get on him. I'll have to get with him, see if he has to do if he can do an episode next week. So yeah, I knew I was going to likely see people, but yeah, no. We're coming towards the end of our destination in the end. All stories have to end, and usually it takes me an hour to finish up my walk, but this was expected since I'm not able to walk as much. And if I was seen as a kid walking around a school, they would not let me go. They would try to register me and everything. I don't know. I'm just cautious, They'll be like, why are you just walking around the school? Yeah, no, I just really wanted to do this podcast. I just really wanted to do this. I felt like, I don't know, maybe you needed to see me more. I'm kidding. That's not the case. I just wanted to record my thoughts, the random thoughts I have on a walk, on a regular stroll. And I wanted to record my reactions to people I meet and people I see. And it's really all just fun. Later on today, I'm going to go to a track meet, so I'm not going to stay completely inactive, which is fun. Really fun. Arm's still broken, by the way. Like, you probably shouldn't walk. Don't take after me. Don't do what I say, not what I do. If you have a broken arm and you're watching this, don't go on a walk. Definitely don't go on a morning walk. Not by yourself, anyway. I'm risking myself for you. I'm kidding. This is all for me. I still need to keep exercise, not to get loose. And yeah, no, walking is really fun. In the end, especially in morning walks. Then you hear all the birds tweeting, you get to smell the fresh air, and even sometimes you hear some cars, and not necessarily the most wanted thing when you go on a morning walk, but it really is calming. Like, you're just left alone to your thoughts, even if there's neighbors watching you. Even if your neighbor's watching you, just going out on a walk, and it's fun. It's meant to be fun, and that's really just the whole point of the morning walkers. So we are coming up on our destination, up the hill, up through my driveway, and okay, this is our stop. Thank you guys for, if you're watching this, thank you guys for making it to the end. I really appreciate it. It's the first episode, and this series really came out of nowhere. And the morning walkers, we want more of you. Sorry if I'm out of breath, because I just walked up a giant hill. Like, that's the hill I went. Can you see that? Did you see that? That's the hill I had to walk up. Yeah, no, just not very fun. But if you enjoyed the episode, like, subscribe. I encourage you to go on a walk while you watch this episode, because keeping active is really a good thing to do during the summer. And and if you're a kid, it's easy to just sit down and do nothing. It's just fun, but keep active. You don't want to go into your next gym class and not be able to be completely out of shape. That is not fun. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.